construction is a risky business, but no business worth spending your time in that I'm aware of is risk-free. The first step in managing risk is knowing where it lies. And some areas of contractor risk are obvious. Estimators make mistakes, contractors' payment applications are delayed, owners don't pay on time, contractors cannot or do not reduce fixed overhead fast enough in rough times. It rains for 2 months while the job is coming out of the ground. Subcontractors don't perform as required or go broke. Suppliers don't meet schedules. The cost of certain materials spikes unexpectedly. Job site accidents occur. The insurance company denies a claim. Owners dispute claims for change orders. A key employee quits. Non-documented site conditions present themselves mid-project. Owners filing for bankruptcy. Contractors' cash runs out. Suppliers cut off credit, and on and on. What is up? Welcome to episode 9 of Cafe Construct, your go-to podcast for tips to achieve success in the Kenyan construction industry. Your host for this episode is Kerubo, and that was an excerpt from the book we will get into today. So awesome. Grab your cup of goodness. Let's talk life in construction. In this episode, we reach out to contractors out there and recommend a professional book that we as a team believe should be on your shelf. I'll review excerpts and my overall experience reading through it, and also highlight 3 lessons we could all benefit from, not just for the contractor. So don't tune out if you're not a contractor. These 3 tips will still benefit you as well. Shout out to you if you keep coming back when a new episode is released. We're 9 episodes in and we're hungry to know you more as you listen to us as well. And hopefully through this random question segment, we'll begin to hear from you guys as well. So let me know this. What is your favorite junk food? Your guilty snacking pleasures? So is it the sweet or the savory or both? Hopefully I'm not tempting the dieters out there. If so, 1,000 apologies. On my part, any snack that combines meat and pastry is definitely on the top of my list. So we're talking meat pies, we're talking burgers, pizzas, sandwiches. What can I say? God bless whoever thought to combine meat and pastry. So I guess that's a combination of sweet and savory. I don't know. But yeah, that's my guilty pleasure of choice. Let me know what yours is. So on Friday when you post up the stories, chip in. Let me know what your favorite snack is. Fantastic. So how do I transition from food to book review? Speaking of consumption, maybe lame, I don't know. Yeah, so the current professional read this week is Construction Business Management by Nick Ganaway. So it's a guide to contracting for business success. So this book describes in detail what the business side of construction is and how that equation or what that equation requires of a construction firm owner. The contractor who quickly learns these requirements can identify and avoid or manage the pitfalls that cause the high failure rate in our industry and put his or her construction firm on a level playing field with the best run companies in the business. He lays it out on the Amazon review. And my overall experience, this book is written in such a relatable and conversational way that it feels like Nick Ganaway is having a one-on-one conversation with you. I'm not even playing it up, I promise. I started it casually with low expectations, but I found myself breezing through the first 2 chapters. So the first chapter, he brings up a vital question, and he titled that chapter, "Do you have what it takes?" So he lays down the character traits you will need to manage a construction firm successfully, and he dares you to ask yourself if you are cut out to run your own. Looks into your role as the owner of a construction firm, what you must know and what you must do given that position. So by this chapter, I was hooked. Once you have established that you're cut out for that part and the role is laid out. He gives you pointers now on how to develop your business, hiring the right people, how to market your company, create customer loyalty, control your finances, how to manage your risk. He gives you pointers on bidding and delivering a project now to the satisfaction of the client. He gets into building successful relationships, not only with yourself and knowing yourself, is with your employees, with the subcontractors, and he laid out several real life examples of financial decisions or even other major decision managerial that he made along the way that had a major tipping effect to his firm. So he's honest to declare that, of course, not all risk can be eliminated in construction, especially, or in any field anyway, but that risk certainly can be managed if its elements are identified and understood. He puts it perfectly. Quote, "Now I invite you to travel with me through this book. The knowledge and references you will gain in return the time sorry the knowledge and references you gain will return the time you spend here many times over in the years to come. It will also have lasting value as a book of reference and for using in training key employees. While you can start anywhere in the book that applies to a particular need, you will benefit most from the global effect of the entire book." An easy top rate for this book. I'm not even exaggerating. Have you ever felt like you loved an author just by how they wrote? And I have to admit, I would be honored to have a conversation with him. Yeah, you read the book and you want to have coffee with Nick Ganaway, and that's how relatable and how well communicated his themes were from the onset. Like from the moment you kick in and start reading, the chapters are just going by. It's just short and sweet. His examples are to the point, and you feel, even I, not being a contractor, I could see things and I could relate to things, and he was not lost, or he wouldn't lose you in jargon. So, because chapter one clearly was just a major highlight for me, because it set off a good note for the book. So, I'll derive the 3 tips of the book from that initial chapter. And the chapter, as I said, was "Do you have what it takes?" So I think that'll even possibly be the episode title. So yeah. As always, I'll count it down from the third point, 3, 2, 1, to finish off with what I think was the most impactful lesson that I picked, but in this case now from the first chapter. So first off, he does lay out a good point. Having all the traits that he lists is not a guarantee for success. Neither is failure related to lack thereof. So he emphasizes that all traits can be learned and unlearned, and quotes and quote, "Many entrepreneurs thriving today suffered initial failure, then rebounded with new wisdom, cleared away the debris, and started all over again." Fantastic. So let's go right into it and start with the tip number 3. He says this, you should have a willingness to work while others play. So I think kind of self-explanatory, but he does say this, and I quote, "Owning and operating a construction firm is not a 5-day, 8 to 5 occupation. You can count on 6 or even 7 long days in the beginning while you're setting up your company's infrastructure, simultaneously building projects and trying to get new ones. So as you become more established, plan on 50 to 60 hours weeks routinely and often longer. Your vacation, when you get one, will no longer be a time when you can forget about everything back at the office. Not all of these hours will be at the office or job site. Some will be spent at home in the evenings or on weekends, planning, reading, or just mulling over business matters. If you're unable or unwilling to give this amount of time to your business, then he just says reconsider starting your own business. However, for most self-employed businessmen and women, the hours aren't burdensome. Like they fly by, and the day is gone before they want it to be. So in this tip, there's, as the title said, you should be willing to work and put in the sweat and the effort that is involved at the beginning so that this dream of yours can be transformed into a reality. And it's not easy. So he says that if you leave employment to start something on your own, and your main driver was you want to work less hours, chances are that you'll end up working more hours. You being your own boss, you're tougher on yourself. You know the goals you want to achieve, you know your deadlines, and you know what income you want to earn, and you drive yourself so hard. So he clearly puts it out there that moving into self-employment is no easy task, and there's a certain willingness that should be there on the initial part when you commit to that journey, so that you can see it the whole way through. Even when it gets really hard and really lonely, you can still stick to your gun. Yeah, that's tip number 3. For tip number 2, he talks about reliability stroke follow through. So, quote, do what you say you will do when you say you will do it. Nothing builds credibility better, and nothing is more important to cementing effective relationship with your employees, your customers, outside contractors, your banks, your insurance carriers, and others you depend on for your success. Keeping commitments is your 11th commandment. One time neglecting to return a phone call can leave a lasting memory. So, failure to keep a major commitment, such as a delivery schedule, can fracture the good image you've spent years building. So, yeah, if you say you will deliver a certain thing at a certain point, following through builds your portfolio and builds your reliability and your consistency, and it builds a referral system. Once your client sees how reliable you are, they're more likely to recommend you and push you forward to your goal. So do what you say you will do when you say you will do it. That's all he just boils it down to. Being a committed guy and sticking to your word. Then tip number 1 is about stress tolerance. So he says this: few owners of even the best run farms in almost any industry have dodged the stresses of dealing with unreasonable characters, dealing with costly mistakes, slow paying customers, employee problems, endless government regulation, disappointing financial reports, unfavorable market conditions, angry customers, uncooperative bankers. I'm telling you, the list was that long, yeah. Rising costs, and other seriously challenging situations, too numerous to name. Yeah. To succeed in your business, you must put this in perspective of your larger picture and move forward. You cannot allow the resulting emotions to dominate your time and energy and impair your decision making ability or dim your overall attitude. So I'll say that again. So to succeed in your business, you must put this in perspective, the stresses, and put the larger picture as you move forward. So you cannot allow the resulting emotions and stresses to dominate your time and your energy and impair your decision making ability or dim your overall attitude. Yeah, this was tip number 1 for a reason. Stress in construction just go hand in hand. We've listened to episode 3. We had a project manager on the show, and it was interesting. I asked him if being a project manager and dealing with the stresses on site had helped him manage stress outside. And he was blatant. He was honest enough to just say, yeah, it's not made it any easier. And us all being in construction as a listener, stress is part of our daily job. And as a contractor, all eyes are on you. You've signed a contract and people expect certain times and schedules and costs to be met. And things don't always go as you plan. You're dealing with so many people, and you have certain goals even for yourself. So all these wheels are turning and stress is bound to happen. And I like that he had this crazy list of customers and employee problems, how regulations you're applying for stuff, it's taking time, the financial reports are not even making sense, the economy changes, things stop, uh, customers are angry, they change their mind a lot, bankers are uncooperative, they don't want to give you to extend any financial support to you. There's rising costs and other challenging situations. As I said, they're too numerous to name. So if he says if your tolerance for stress is low, you need to build it up to be able to tackle being a contractor in the construction industry or any other professional in the construction industry. And I found that to be very true, very relatable. And it's a battle I think we all constantly try to fight. We're just trying to grow, trying not to break, trying to always love what you do and not be derailed by how stressful it can be at some point. So that was a good point. So if you're still on the book reviews usually are a much shorter episode because I don't go so much into it. But just a bonus tip for the contractors out there. He does get into tips of hiring the right people and says this. Someone has said, I'd rather have an A team with a B idea than a B team with an A idea. And I agree. So opportunities exist in construction for even the smallest of contractors. In the beginning, you wear many hats simultaneously. So you're the general manager, you're the salesman, you're the estimator, you're the project manager, you're the expediter, the job superintendent, the bookkeeper, the bill collector, even the office janitor. So you're spending long days on the job sites and evenings and on weekends just doing mental or office work. So this may be unavoidable in your early days, but unless you climb to the next level, freeing yourself to see and manage the whole picture while building up on a staff to take responsibility for at least some of these functions, you're likely to stay in the bid build cycle in which you have no revenue during the bid phase and little time to pursue and bid on new work during the build phase. I like that. So you'll thrive in this mode indefinitely because of other demands that you cannot ignore. So there's costs and billings, payroll taxes and quarterly income tax filings, hiring and benefits, insurance and audits, vehicles, office storage space, supplier accounts and lines of credit, performance and payment bonds, complex contract provisions, government reports, cost controls, filing and retrieval systems, licenses, computers and software, phone systems, marketing the company and acquiring new business opportunities, implementing policies and procedures, and literally so on. I love how he lists everything so explicitly. The struggle that is at the beginning when you're trying to do everything on your own. And he emphasizes that at some point you need to hire the right people to handle some of these tasks so that you're not caught up in the bid build cycle, as he puts it. So this is a good read and my mind was blown overall. Like this book is a must have for contractors. If you're a contractor and you're listening, hello, get this book for yourself. Do yourself some justice. Invest in this book. I read it. I loved it. I'm not a contractor, but I still loved it. You'll not be disappointed, I promise you. So if you're interested in a copy for yourself, whether you're a contractor or you're interested in it, you're a student, you know someone you'd gift a contractor, you'd gift your pal who's stepping out to become a contractor, just check out the link in our bios. On our Instagram page, Cafe Construct, at the link in our bio, there's an option to buy the Kindle copy. On our Twitter handle, on our Facebook page, all of these pages, have the link that will lead you to get this copy for yourself. And I hope you found this episode to be helpful, at least to the list, to just guide you. And let's keep reading, let's keep growing. He also does mention, by the way, part of the tips of becoming a successful contractor. You need to constantly be reading newspapers, reading articles, books, magazines. The knowledge continues. You keep searching for the knowledge. And that is the same sentiment we have in Cafe Construct, that reading has so much potential for you and for your business and for your goals. Even though you do not have a business, even though you're working in someone else's business, you have your own goals, you have your own plans, and reading makes you better at what you do. You don't have to go back to do your masters. You can invest in yourself without having to go back for masters on masters on masters. Knowledge is just a book away, So I hope you found this episode to be helpful, and if so, please rate our show on Apple Podcasts. We keep saying this every single time. Please rate our show on Apple Podcasts. Please share it with your friends. We're loving that we're growing. 100 people on Instagram, 200 on Facebook. Join the community. Listen, learn, love, share with all your friends in construction. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much. And just never get tired of hearing me say thank you for listening. And remember, figure out what you want, then work diligently towards it, consistently and patiently. Don't give up. So till the next episode, it's bye bye. See you guys later.